Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
Are you?
I
And
am.
I'm Jim Fuller.
There you
How
are.
are you guys?
As always, glad to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice to be alive.
You're looking good again today,
Paloma.
Mr. Fuller.
Thank you very much, John. I
That
appreciate
man is sharp.
Well, so do
You know,
you.
I-
look
it.
great.
Yeah, John looks good.
I'm
too.
old school here.
You're old.
He's
He looks
brand
better
new.
Look
than
at
any of
He
us.
is all coordinated.
He's brand new. I'm old school. he's still running. He's still running in those circles where he has to be on top of his game.
Yeah. Be all
I
starched
still like
and
old
clean.
school every now and then.
Old school's
myself.
good.
It is. There's nothing wrong with old
I've
school.
refused to buy into the theory that we have to all buy ties that are that wide.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
No.
And it is interesting
Yeah.
because men
And-
wear basically the same kind of thing all the time. And so the tie is really important, isn't it? It should
kinda
be
is,
how
but
what
I
you
guess
like.
in John's and I's lifetime, we've been through this change of where the
I've got
where
them all.
ties
Skinny and wide.
4.5 inches wide. Now they're down to about an inch, and you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
if you want to be really cool, but I refuse to do that again.
Right.
This is
You know,
I've
and
already
what
been through all
amazes
that.
me, and I mean, I was in the clothing business for made a lot of my life, and these suits that these guys are wearing now, they all look like Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
You know, they don't cover half of their butts. They're so tight that they can't button them. They
Right.
got one little button
And
in
so
the middle.
they hang open.
And they're wide
sort of,
open,
yeah.
and their ties hanging out
And
of
then
the
the legs
bottom.
are so
and
tight
and
that-
I just don't
Yeah.
understand it. It can't be comfortable,
No, it can't.
but that's what they wear.
You know Tim Tebow that's on the
Yeah.
SEC
Yeah.
network. You know, I don't know how he gets. He's a big guy.
They are.
You know, and then you know, I don't know how he gets into these suits.
That
he
must
wears.
have some steel in that material, or those arms would just
Right.
bust wide
I
open.
know, that's hard to understand.
But that's fashion,
Yeah.
and that's what they do. If it didn't continue to change, all these clothing stores would be out of
they'd
business.
be out of business.
They've got to
They
keep it
leave
rolling.
one fashion in long enough for you to say, okay, these are old, now I'm going to get rid of them. So you go into a new bunch, and then within a year or two, they're back to the old ones. So
Oh, sure.
we really need to save our old clothes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, have you ever seen the movie with Anne Hathaway about Prada?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's a real good example of how that whole industry works. And you know, I know Anne Hathaway was in some meeting early on. She had this little sort of a periwinkle blue sweater on, and she was watching them do this stuff, and she just didn't, you know, made light of it. And old Prada says, "Well, why do you think you're wearing that sweater you've got on?" Because 5 years ago, somebody in a room like this decided that color was going to be big.
Big, yeah.
Yeah.
And without this room, you wouldn't have that sweater on right now. And that's how all that stuff works. And it's buy blue jeans, cut all to pieces.
I know, and that's one I can't understand. You get rid of your old jeans, then you go pay money for jeans that have holes all the way up.
Right.
Weird.
I was watching the Pickers. I love the History Channel, and they were. And I've been in this store in Nashville because that's where I got these glass frames, Imogene and Willie's, which is near Belmont, and it's an old gas station, and they make custom jeans in there, and you know, $150, $200 jeans. And the Pickers had found some old jeans because wherever they go out, you know, in these old barns and manufacturing places, they're always looking for old workwear.
yeah.
They found this one pair of jeans. It was a Lee pair of jeans, and they took them over to Imogene and Willie's, and that guy did a little research. $1,500 is what they were.
You're
Oh my
kidding
And
goodness.
me.
they were from the 30s.
Yeah.
Good grief.
You know, because people collect that stuff, so it's crazy. Don't throw anything away.
Oh,
Yeah.
please.
Can't throw anything away.
I haven't.
I do.
I
I
have
throw
been
it all
lucky
away.
like that one time in my life where I had something that was
That
actually
was worth
a
something?
Yeah.
What
This
was
is-
it?
Well, it was back in the late '80s, I'm guessing. But you all know I was in the bar business for a number of times, as John
Yeah.
was, number of years rather. And I had, there was this beer when Jimmy Carter was president. His brother was a beer drinker. And
Yeah.
he
Oh,
was-
yeah.
and they manufactured this beer called Billy Beer.
Billy Beer.
Nobody would buy it. I remember. And
And it wasn't there long because the Democratic Party didn't like it.
Right, and I had 4 or 5 cases at the Legion, which I bought myself and took home.
Yeah.
Never drank it,
Yeah.
and at some point it became worth something, and I didn't.
And you sold it?
And I did not know it, but a guy that I knew that had moved to Texas, it was a big deal in Texas. Wanted to know, did I have any of it, and I said yes, and he said, would you take $600 a case for it?
What? Oh my goodness.
And I think at that point I had 3 cases left or something. I'd given some
You
away.
just said, no, I got to have $1,000.
No, I was happy to sell it.
I know it, but
for $600 a
if
case.
he would have paid $600, he'd probably paid $1,000.
He probably
wanted it.
He definitely
wanted it. He
wanted
made
it,
up his
you know.
mind. He had to have it.
I guess maybe he had a market for
Yeah,
it too. You know.
that's
but,
interesting.
Everybody was making money.
Yeah. I
But,
mean, it was like a
but the
gift to
end
me.
road, that guy, he had more money than he had sense.
Yeah, and to give you some perspective, when you bought a case of Billy Beer back then wholesale, it was only $6 or something like that. You know, yeah, $6, $7. It wasn't much,
No.
and was not very popular. Not
You
many
lucked
people
out. That
would
was
ever drink
great.
it, you know. But
That's like when I was in high school. Mary Motlow and I were friends, and whenever I'd go to pick her up, we'd go out on a date. She'd say her daddy was Connor, that lives in the Motlow house out on Lynchburg Highway. She'd say, "Go in there and talk to Daddy for a minute." Well, I'd go in and talk to Daddy, and she'd go down in the basement because he kept 2 pallets, not cases, pallets full of cases of Lem Motlow down there in his
Wow.
garage. And she'd come up with a bottle of Lem Motlow. That's what we'd take out on our date. Lem Motlow's worth a fortune right now.
Yeah.
The original Lem Motlow is worth a fortune. And that's just how that stuff goes. You know, they quit making it, and I think they're coming back out with it now.
yeah, I remember
In a real
that.
high-dollar version.
Yeah, Lil Motley used to be very popular.
Well, you know, the black was 7. What the green was 5 or 3 years,
I think 3,
and I think Lem Motlow was 6 months.
30 days.
Yeah, it's raw.
Yeah,
It's raw.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
anything
one
about
step
it.
above moonshine.
I come from moonshine country. I don't
And if
think
you're
about
watching
that.
this and you're from Jack Daniel, John and I have probably totally butchered that as far as the aging of that liquor.
Yeah.
So if you'll
Well,
correct
it wasn't
that,
much.
Yeah.
Lem Motlow wasn't much.
We'll do our research next
Yeah.
time and correct that. No, you're right. I remember you're
It
right.
wasn't much because it
Yeah.
was raw, man.
Yeah.
It was
right.
jet fuel.
Right, exactly.
So you've got this weekend. We've got
lots of stuff.
We've got the
Art
Art
Festival.
Festival, Arts Alive at South
Arts
Jackson
Alive.
Civic Center property.
And that's 2 days,
That's
right?
2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday night
Saturday
you've
night
got
we have the A1A official original Jimmy Buffett tribute band. They are fabulous. There they are, right there. They're bringing all that stuff, and we're supposed to be
they bringing a
decorating.
bag of marijuana with them.
I don't know about that.
Buffett,
but-
there they are.
This group has won all kind of awards for the music they play. They do some of their own original, but they do all of the great Jimmy Buffett pieces. And oddly enough, Jimmy Buffett never made it like, he made it big, but he's not like a super star in some ways.
He's worth
He
several $100 million.
I know.
He's
I know.
beyond a superstar.
He's beyond it. I
right.
know, but he,
He did it almost silently.
yeah, and he encourages this group
Yeah.
to, front for him because they're fabulous. And I hope people will come. Tickets are $30, I believe.
I went to see Leon Redbone in Nashville
love Leon Redbone.
at the Pickin' Parlor. and Jimmy Buffett opened for him.
Isn't it
No
great?
kidding.
Oh yeah, he played. He almost
You're
started.
talking about, I assume Leon Redbone was with the band Redbone? Is that,
No.
not the
No,
same
he
guy.
was.
What was that song you?
Without my walking stick,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'd go insane.
I don't-
I don't look my best. I feel undressed without my cane.
Yeah.
And then he did Budweiser commercials and all of that
Right.
stuff. But Buffett almost starved to death in Nashville
Yeah.
playing for tips.
Well,
But
you know-
when he made it, he took advantage of it.
Yeah, right.
This group that we have coming, they carry that parrot head theme from top to bottom. It's a fabulous outfit. It's costing us a lot of money, but that's okay.
I hear ticket sales have gone pretty well,
They
though.
have. If you want
But
a
there's
ticket,
still some tickets
there's
left.
still some tickets, yeah.
All right. So
Anyways,
that's
7 o'clock Saturday night.
Saturday night.
South Jackson
South
Civic
Jackson
Center
Civic Center.
in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
That's it.
Don't we go
Do it.
places where they might not know where Tullahoma is? With this channel?
No, most places pretty well know where Tullahoma
Okay.
is.
All right. Well, just to
They all come here to
I'll
eat
throw it out.
and shop.
Maybe they're visiting.
They
maybe
all-
they're visiting from another city
But
or
they all
another
come here
state.
to eat and shop.
Yeah, no, I think John's right. They probably know where Tullahoma is. Although we have the walking horse program comes to mind as we have Mike Inman come
Yeah.
here in just a few minutes. But when we do that show, we have to think about that a little bit
Oh,
because
yeah.
Well,
that has
there's
a
a
further
wide-
reach
yeah, because
than this does.
it's in several states, and you know
Sure.
you have to
You
not
need
try
to
to be too
always,
localized
you need to
here.
always say that you're
Yeah,
Tullahoma,
right.
Tennessee.
Right.
Don't waste the opportunity.
Or you can just say Tullahoma because it's the only one in the world.
The only one in the world. That's the neat thing about having to look
I
up
love
anything.
that. Don't you love that?
You can
And
go.
we-
You can go to
don't we have
Europe
the
and send a
widest
letter
road in
just
the
to
world?
Tullahoma.
I think we
and
have the
it'll get
widest
here.
road in the world.
Widest road in the well,
Or we
probably
used to.
with the interstate systems the way it is
Oh,
now.
yes,
It's
that
probably
may
not.
not
Yeah.
anymore.
But at one point it was.
Anyway, get your
Anyway.
tickets.
Yeah, get your tickets. Go
Call
see them.
South
Go
I think
see
it's pretty
Jackson.
them.
neat when you go to look up something on the internet relative to Tullahoma, and you don't even have to type in the state or
No.
as John said, it's the only one in
It's
the
the only
world.
one in the
Yeah,
world.
it's the only
Yeah.
one in the world. I
Yeah,
know. You
right.
say Tullahoma and it comes up right
Yeah,
then.
right. Exactly.
So,
What you got?
piece of wisdom. I always try to have a piece of wisdom. Here's two good ones right here. Sitting on the side of the bed, waiting for morning sun to appear. Have a plan in my head, but the outcome isn't clear. The he said, she saids can get in the way. No matter what they say, make it a great day.
Good.
Remember
Okay.
old boy that said that on the radio? Make it a great day.
Who was that? I forget.
I don't know. I forgot his name.
But I do.
Paul Harvey.
Paul
Oh,
Harvey.
I love Paul Harvey. He is
And here's
fabulous.
one more, and then we'll move on out of the way. And I believe this wholeheartedly for all of you people out there. Listen closely. The brilliance assigned to creative endeavor that affects the degree of happiness attached must never be allowed to come from lofty towers, but from the warm spark in one's soul that makes you smile.
I like that.
Don't ever stop doing something you love because someone else says that's not what you need to do. If you love it, do it. That's why we're here after 28 years. We love it. We're doing it. We'll be right back.
Mustang Sally. You better slow that Mustang down at Russell Barnett Ford in Tullahoma on Highway 55, where you can receive up to $4,000 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Ford in Tullahoma. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch, and we're here for an endorsement for the Conversations with John and Pat Marathon.
And I'm management. And management is proud to announce, after 100 segments plus one encore of the Conversations with John and Pat, we have decided to do a marathon on Memorial Day weekend starting at 4 o'clock Sunday the 27th and running through 6 o'clock on Monday the 28th. And guys, we wouldn't be able to do this without some generous folks out there in our community who have agreed to sponsor this. How about telling us who the sponsors are?
Weichert Realtors, Joe Orr and Associates, my friends.
Builder Supply Company, where I first started.
Stan McNabb, automobile dealerships out on the Manchester and the Shelbyville Highway.
Lester Green, McCord, and Toma Insurance.
And Smart Bank of Tullahoma on North Jackson Street, where I bank.
And Clayton Shoe Store with Miss Florence Hull.
Where everybody buys their shoes.
That's right. And you can get your foot measured.
You get your foot measured there, and I tell you what, folks, management is very, very excited to be able to do this. These guys have done a great job over the past couple of years sharing not just Tullahoma history, but history of our whole region around here, and it's important to all of us that we learn and understand and appreciate that. So, folks, don't you forget Memorial Day weekend on Sunday the 27th, starting at 4, going till Monday the 28th, ending at 6. It's Conversations with John and Pat Marathon.
Can we ask one question?
What's that?
Is it going to be back-to-back solid with just
Solid.
us and our fine sponsors?
Solid, baby, solid.
Wow.
Watch out, Andy Griffith. Here they come.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're very pleased to have joining us on the set now the Executive Director of the Walking Horse National Celebration, Mr. Mike Inman. And he's here today because you guys got a special show coming up in a few days, starts this week.
Absolutely. Thursday evening, we start the 49th annual edition of the Spring Fun Show, a Celebration Spring Fun Show. We sponsor that, and it's Thursday,
That's
Friday.
a celebration event.
Yes,
correct?
a celebration event on the Celebration grounds,
Right.
Located in the Calsonic Arena. And that'll be Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday evening, starting at 6 o'clock each night.
Right. And this is, at least to me, and I've been around the industry a while, I'm no expert on it, but to me it's always a really fun event to watch because this event, the folks who win this event, whatever class, has some implication on who might win the celebration.
Absolutely. Not only that, but it's, well, I added to the marquee today, come see the very best.
Yeah.
And it is, because not only does the winner kind of look like, well, that's a continue you have to watch, but even through second, third, and down to fourth places anymore, everybody tends to come in, and that's really the real testing ground for the spring season. And if you do well there, you know that you're one that needs to be checked out later on and at the end of August, because if you do well there, you're against the, like I said, the very best of the competition. And if you do well, you know that you're in the hunt, so to speak.
A lot of people probably don't really pay, if you're just a casual observer of the walking horse industry, you may not start paying attention until it gets to celebration time. But there's a lot of exciting events that happen throughout the year prior to the celebration, this being one of them.
Absolutely. Actually starts at the first major show is by the Trainers Show in March. And then obviously this show is huge. It's just huge. It's a jumping off point, especially for your top contenders. And then the 4th of July weekend is always full,
Right.
where people will be in town for a 3 or 4 day, but depending on how the calendar falls, leading up to the celebration. And then of course you have various one-night horse shows that kind of fill in those other dates.
I mean, which are fun as well.
Absolutely, they're fun to attend.
Yeah.
But this one is special because we're having a lot of people come into town, come into the area. It's very good from an economic standpoint for our area, and it's very entertaining and exciting for those that want to come and watch the horse show. So it's a win-win.
You know, it's interesting you say when you talk about the area, the economic impact of the area, because it's not just Shelbyville that benefits from this, folks, if you're watching, because all of the surrounding towns, Tullahoma being one of those, and Manchester and Fayetteville probably, you know, even Murfreesboro to some extent, benefit from the economic impact of the walking horse industry, big time during the celebration particularly.
Well, it is, but now every hotel room is full in Shelbyville, so people are already coming out to the surrounding areas for looking for places to go to be able to sleep. And then if you're in town for the whole week, and some may stay over for the next week, which there's a show over in Columbia that's well attended, people are looking for different places to go to eat, even go to movies during the week, and just to get out and about and do some sightseeing if you're from out of state. So it's good. It's good for the entire area, not just Shelbyville.
Right. Yeah, it seems to me, we were talking about this before we came in there, but the industry is really doing well now. I mean, and I'm talking about the quality of the horses, for instance, has really improved, I think, in the last few years.
They have. The industry is up, especially in the last 2 years. The average sales price of the horses, especially the younger horses, is higher than it's been in nearly 2 decades.
No kidding.
Yeah, and the breeding has started to come out. We hit a low about 4 years ago. Now those horses are coming up, and you're right. The quality of the horses is just simply outstanding. And with that, adds another excitement of people that may have been out of the industry for 10 or 15 years are coming back, and we're also getting new people that have joined the industry. And the celebration itself, over the last 3 years, we've seen a 20% increase in our entries, which was strong. Hopefully we'll see that continue to grow. And we actually had a growth in our box seat sales as well last year for the first time in a long time. And it's still we're still the largest attended horse show, not horse event, Derby, and those exceed that. But the largest horse show in the country still, and we're seeing that start to uptick a little more in the last 2 years, and we continue or expect to see that to continue this year as well.
I'm just wondering, Mike, 20% growth in the entries and the celebration, that's a very, very positive thing. Does that have anything to do with the leadership of the...
No, I can assure you that. Well, we all work hard. We got a great team over there, but we're all devoted to the industry. But
it's always nice when those things occur.
You'd rather report increases than decreases, without a doubt.
Right.
But we're really excited about the way things are going, and people work very, very hard and dedicated to the industry, and we appreciate the people in this area, in Bedford County, the surrounding area, that continue to support us, and we invite everybody out this weekend. I mean, it's going to be a super show, and we've got beautiful weather, and good seating. It'll be kind of cool inside the arena. You step in from that 85, 86.
Is this in the Calisonic Arena?
In the Calisonic Arena.
In the Calisonic Arena.
4,600 seats, all with backs and arms, and great concessions, and wonderful, beautiful top horses. And that's what we're up for. And every night, just by the way, we're going to start something new.
Okay.
We're going to be the first time to introduce electronic judging. So the judging will be done. We're trying to pick up the pace of the evening. We should start at 6, hope to be out by 10:30, 10 to 10:30 every night. We hope to pick up 2 to 3 minutes a class, and we averaged between 20 to 24 classes, so that's 40 minutes plus, where the judges will fill out their iPad. The entries are already on their iPad. They click, 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 click. Boom. By the time they turn around, walk back to sit down, it's already tied and ready to go. And we're very excited, and we're going to
I think that's huge.
Yeah. And if it works well, and we anticipate to, then we will be implementing it at the celebration in August. So we're real excited about this.
Right. Okay. All right. That just makes, to me, that makes the event more, because it moves faster.
It moves faster, and that's what everybody wants. That's the dead air time. And you're in your business. You know all about
we
dead
don't
air.
like that.
And dead air is no. Say nada to the dead air.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to do, is just pick up the pace and keep the energy going and the excitement going all during the evening. And we're real excited to see how that's going to work.
All right. Well, folks, if you've, it's a great. Even if you don't own a horse, you might own one if you'll go to the fun show. But even if you don't own one, it's a great spectator sport, and it's good
fantastic.
for the whole family.
Great for the good family entertainment.
Right.
Bring the kids.
Right. Starts Thursday night.
Thursday evening, 6 o'clock sharp.
Okay.
And we'll bring in the white flag horse. She'll be entering the ring right at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
With Old Glory.
All right. Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wish you all the luck in the world. Sounds like a great event.
It is.
All right.
Thank you.
By the way, I do think the leadership has a lot to do with it.
You're too kind.
All right, well, folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more living right after this.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
I'm so glad you're back. I have with me today Joyce Norton, and she is here to talk about a job fair for the veterans, and I think that is a fabulous thing to do.
Yes, we try to have 2 a year. Of course, this is the first one of 2019. This time we'll be having it at the Manchester Coffee County Conference Center.
Oh, the big conference center.
Conference Center,
Just off the freeway.
Right, off of 147 Hospitality Boulevard, which, as everybody knows, it's right behind Starbucks.
Right, you can't miss it, really.
No, you can't miss it. It will be this Thursday, the 24th.
What time?
It will start at 10 a.m. and it will run till 2 p.m.
And what all is going on? I mean, I know it's a job fair, but
well, we've also got, besides the job fair, we're going to have 14 what I call community resource providers, Job Corps, and let's see, there'll be someone from the Veterans Administration there.
Great.
And legal aid, some children's services, and things like that.
Do you all ever touch on mental illness? Because I know that this is Mental Illness Month, and I'm thinking PTSD veterans.
Right. Well, that's why we have one of the Veterans Affairs representatives there. So she would be able to help if they're having issues getting into the system, or if they just have questions. So
I'm sure there's a lot of questions. A lot of people go into the military and don't really realize some of the services that are available.
Right. They and there's so many different changes nowadays that I couldn't even begin to tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah.
So I try to provide someone who works in the system, and if they don't know the answer, they can find a way for them quicker to get an answer.
Yeah. What year is it? How many years have y'all been doing this?
This will be. I've been doing it. I've been here in Tullahoma for 3 years, so I've been doing it
for
3 years. It's been done before. Years ago, there used to be one called Paychecks for Patriots.
Yeah.
Of course, this one in May is honoring Memorial Day, but it is open to the public. So we want everybody to come out. We want to make sure everybody gets, checks out our website, jobsfortn.gov.
Do we have the website we could put up? Maybe you want to? Can you rattle it off?
I don't know. It'll be on the flyer. We also have a Facebook page, which is Tullahoma American Job Center.
All right.
So they can go on that and they can look too. We're going to have, like I say, employers from around 5 counties, a lot of service groups, some education, 2 of the technology colleges, McMinnville and Shelbyville, and Motlow will be there, Community College will be there, Job Corps, which helps 18 to, I think, 24 ages, schooling and education and things
That
like
is
that.
awesome.
Tennessee Reconnect will be there so that if you have questions about funding for school and things like that, there'll be someone there to help that.
Somebody to help with that. Do you know how many people this activity has drawn over the years?
I wish I did.
Yeah.
I'd like to say thousands, but I'd be happy with 100, 200 people.
Well, the whole thing is, if you can help anybody,
right,
it's worth
right.
worth the effort.
Right, and even if you're not interested in jobs or talking to employers, I recommend that you come because of the community resources.
Right.
So if you have family members or things like that, then you can find information.
You find out the information, and you can tell them. And did we say what time it started?
It starts at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. and goes until
2 p.m. It's free.
2.
It's open to the public, so it doesn't cost anything to come. If you're interested in jobs and you want to talk to employers, definitely bring lots of resumes, which if you need copies of your resume, you can actually stop at the American Job Center in Tullahoma.
And get copies.
And we'll make copies for you.
So any veteran looking for a job can very likely find employment.
Yes,
which is a wonderful thing.
Yes, veterans and also the public.
Oh, good.
But it is honoring the veterans, so we just want to make sure that everybody knows, because it says Honor Memorial Day, we don't want the public to feel left out saying, well, it's just for veterans. It's for everyone.
Well, veterans' influence goes beyond just the person that served. It goes into their family and to their children, and it spreads out through the nation, and there's such a large need for helping these people.
Right, and that's one of the reasons we do it, and hopefully we'll get a lot of people to come out.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, you don't have. This will be done. What day was it?
Thursday, the 24th of May.
My brain is not sticking it all in my head.
Don't feel bad.
Thursday the 24th, which is this week?
This week.
This week, yeah. That's what was catching me. So I hope you've got this information and show up in time and get some information to take home with you. Get your questions, write them down at home. I think that's always a good idea.
The other thing, too, is I would definitely come if you've graduated from high school or if you're going to be graduating from high school. This would be the perfect place to come and meet employers, get comfortable talking to different people and things like that.
And do you have some suggestions as how they should dress? They should kind of dress
You always want to dress
neatly,
for the possibility
right?
of an interview. Neatly, dress pants, a nice shirt, a polo shirt, something that something that you're comfortable in, and something that looks presentable to someone that you want to hire you for a job.
I agree, and I think sometimes people forget that.
Yes, they do.
That it makes a difference that you appear clean, you appear halfway dressed. You don't have to be totally in a suit and tie, I don't think.
No, not a suit and tie. I've seen a lot of people that are dressed up like that, and you can tell they're uncomfortable. So.
And since that goes from 10 till 2, is there food for sale or anything of that nature?
No, it's just 4 hours.
Yeah.
So there won't be anything like that.
It's kind of an in and out thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, you come and you go through, and then you go out.
See everybody, and then.
Well, that's this Thursday, folks.
Get a job.
And I hope you get this information and go and join in.
Join in and check us out on Facebook to find out.
When you go to Facebook, let's give that again, how you get to Facebook.
Well, I believe
the site?
Our page is, if I'm not mistaken, is Tullahoma American Job Center at Facebook. Don't ask me about anything else on Facebook.
All right. Well, Joyce,
Once I get on there, I never
great
leave.
having you, and I think that it's a wonderful program, and I encourage everybody to come out on the 24th, 10 o'clock till 2, at the Manchester Conference Center in Manchester, Tennessee, just off the interstate, easy to find, and it's that building behind the hotel.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll be back with more.
The wait is finally over. The all-new redesigned Ford Ranger is back at Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma. Stop and test drive one today at Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma on Highway 55, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Can you imagine a world without beauty, without color, without creativity, without art? Well, neither can we. Keep arts alive and experience all kinds of arts and crafts at the second annual Arts Alive Tullahoma on the newly renovated lawn of the South Jackson Civic Center, May 25th and 26th. For details, visit TullahomaArtsCouncil.com and come spend the day at our fun, family-friendly arts festival.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network. Hello, folks. We're back, and I'm proud to have two fine young ladies on the air with me today, and that's Marie Thomason and Sandy Seaburn here. And these gals are doing something special downtown at the Caboose Park involving our veterans.
Yes.
So, what is it, number one? Because some of these people might not have seen you the last time you were on to discuss this, and how's your project coming?
Well, the project is going very well. We're excited. We have named it just to kind of encompass the whole thing, Veterans Memorial Project. But what it really means is that we will be dedicating the Gold Star and the Blue Star memorial markers and a 25-foot flagpole. And this is going to be done on Thursday, May the 30th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And some people, we say the History Park, and others don't know where that is exactly yet. But it's on the corner of Grundy and Atlantic Street. It is where the Caboose is located. And so that's where this dedication is going to take place. And all veterans, families, everybody's invited. It's for the city of Tullahoma. And so we just hope that there will be a big turnout. We're planning to prepare for you, and we're excited about it. So as you see the parts and pieces go together, you'll realize that that's what we're doing. And so,
okay,
yeah.
For someone who might not know, explain the Gold Star and the Blue Star.
Okay, we'll start with the Blue Star because it was the beginning at the close of World War II. Actually, the ladies, sometimes ladies get things started. The ladies of the Garden State, New Jersey, wanted to pay tribute to the veterans of World War II. So that's the way it began, and out of that came the Memorial Blue Star marker. You may see them sometimes on highways, but also at civic buildings or parks, any place that has a historical significance that has to do with veterans. And so it says it is a tribute to the armed forces who have defended the United States of America. And that means everybody, men, women, living, deceased, any conflict or no conflict at all. If you've worn the uniform, you are a veteran. And we want to honor everybody. And the location was chosen because of the history in Tullahoma during the 40s, when thousands of young men and women were brought to Tullahoma by train to train and equip and go and serve far away from home. And so that's why we felt like that site was so important. Now, after, I don't know exactly how many years, the Gold Star was initiated because it pays tribute to the Gold Star families whose loved ones paid the ultimate price defending the United States of America. And of course that continues today.
Right.
And so we were so happy to have the sponsors. We are the sponsors of this project because it started as a garden club project. Marie is president of the Shady Grove Garden Club. I have been the project chairman of this project. And so we wanted to have both of them. And we were able to do that because of help with the American Legion, helped our garden club to purchase the Gold Star Memorial, and the Historical Society of Tullahoma helped us to purchase the Blue Star. So we've had great participation and enthusiasm, and it continues. If you are interested in purchasing a paver, which will be installed between the Blue Star, well, between the pad that has both of them, which is there.
Right.
The sidewalk will go from the pad to the existing sidewalk at the caboose. And so we thought it would be a wonderful idea to have the names of anyone you want to honor, a veteran, and these pavers will be installed by November, Veterans Day. With the orders are coming in. I've been trying to get these distributed around town. Sinorama has some, Kroger, Christopher.
Banks, we have some at the banks.
Actually, not yet.
Not yet, okay.
City Hall probably has the biggest stack, but they are available. You can call Marie, call me, and we will bring them to you. This has to be filled out, sent in with a check, and let me make this because one brick 4x8 is $120. 2 or more are $100 a piece. The same is true if you buy an 8x8. They're $240, and if you buy $220. $240, excuse me.
You get a discount if you buy more than one.
You get a discount. You get a good discount.
As always.
And we have tried to get this word out because we certainly want everybody to know about it. And so please don't forget. And the deadline for getting these forms in is about the first week of September because they have to be made.
Very good.
And something we will.
Y'all aren't going to plant any flowers. There are not going to be any flowers planted around
Probably
that
not.
memorial,
Since we're a garden club, we wouldn't even consider doing that. We are Shady Grove Garden Club, and we were federated in 1958, so we're not a young club by any means. There's been several of us along the years that have helped.
Well, it's like that commercial. What is it they say? We're not good because we're old because we're good.
That's right. And so Shady Grove has been around a long time, and we've had several members, and it's been joyful to be part of this group. We're all about educating people about gardening and plants and beautifying all around us, and so that's what we are just trying to help out and do that. And I think this project is one of the biggest ones, and I so commend Sandy for starting this project and spearheaded it. And I think it's going to be a beautiful addition to Tullahoma. We're going to have this beautiful project right there next to the caboose. And I've noticed that we have a lot of families that enjoy that park. And this is going to be even better. We're going to have our memorials there. When our pavers are in, we're going to have a memory walk. I mean, essentially, it's just going to be everybody's going to come and they're going to look for Grandpa Stone. They're going to look for this one. They're going to look for Uncle Jeb. They're going to see that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be really, really good and fun for everybody to come and have their picnics. Yes, there will be opportunities for people to donate a bench. If you've got a special veteran that you would like a bench to sit there along the path, we're going to give lots of opportunities. And
that's wonderful.
If there's a memorial tree for somebody special, I bet we can take care of that too.
Bet you can.
I know. So yes, there will be some nice flowers along the way.
Well, you know, we want to commend you us here with our television show, but also others around the city need to realize that you girls, you know, you have projects that most people don't know about that go on. I know for years the big urns that were out in front of South Jackson Civic Center.
Yes.
This garden club came and made sure that stuff looked pretty in
All
the summertime.
summer,
And
all summer.
y'all have different locations that you go and take care of things that, you know,
The library.
that people don't know about.
The
and
library.
You don't care whether
That's
they know
right.
about it or not.
The gardens outside the
You're
library.
behind the radar, making sure things are pretty in our town, and we appreciate you for that, and appreciate you for spearheading this, because this is a very positive and very, very good thing to do. And thanks for coming and being with us.
Thank you
and
for
know that
having
you're
us.
welcome to come back anytime, because, as you said, the stones can be ordered through September.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we need to make sure that you come back and kind of reinforce that. Okay.
After this is in place, I believe that the city and everybody in the city will see what this is all about.
Sure.
And then everybody will want to have 1 and 2 and 3 pavers, because everybody's going to want to have their father, their mother, their brother. They're all going to want to be there.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we get everybody a paver
it.
that wants one.
Thanks so much for your
Thank
service,
you. Thank you.
both of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on today and sharing this information with us, and we will help you promote as best we can, okay?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Folks, we'll be right back after these messages.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman, and this is
Pat Welch, and we are here today for the 12th rendition of Conversation with John and Pat.
Well,
John, I've got it on good accord that the bookies in Tullahoma on the over and under, it was sitting at 12, whether we could make it this far. So I'm pleased to be here today.
I am too. And I've got a little special song picked out.
Perfect.
About
for session 12.
This is the first time I ever took a chew of tobacco, which most proper people won't want to do that, I would say. But
well, that's humbling yourself to admit you've been wrong.
Well, when I was a young man still in school, I worked on the farm of a stout as a mule with any full-grown man that I thought I could do. I was tough as leather and about half mean. I'd rather fight than eat ice cream, but I met my match when I took my first chew. We was hauling hay one hot July, was kind of smarting off to this old guy who was driving the tractor. His name was Mr. Hugh. He spit on the ground, said, "You young punk, I know you think you're pretty tough, but you ain't no man till you've took your first chew. Well, I'm as much as a man as you'll ever see. Give that chewing tobacco hit of me. I thought if old man Hugh could chew, then I could too." He pulled out a sack of Tennessee Twist. He broke off a hunk as big as your fist. And that's the day when I took my first chew. With the chew in my jaw, went back to work when the darned old tractor gave a jerk. Swallowed all that old brown juice in the back of two. I coughed, I spit, I gagged, I groaned like a dog strangled on a chicken bone that terrible day when I took my first chew. Then the whole wide world started spinning around. I got so dizzy I had to sit down, and looking back at me with a grin was old man Hugh. My stomach did flips, I almost cried. I thought for a while I was gonna die that awful day when I took my first chew. The little beads of sweat popped out on me. I crawled like a baby to the nearest tree, and they were laughing and a slapping his knee was old man Hugh. But I didn't care, I'd done turned green. I was the sickest thing you've ever seen that awful day when I took my first chew. In the shade of that tree I laid till night. Even then I didn't feel right. I stayed in bed with the heaves for a day or two. Once I drunk hard liquor that would curl your hair. I smoked cedar bark, but it didn't compare with that awful day when I took my last chew. You know, wasn't that great? There was a Tullahoma a little story about that. One time when I was a junior high coach at Old East Junior High School, there was a young man that was my track manager, and we were pouring a shot put area, you know, where the kids could do their track, and so we had a concrete truck come over, and they smoothed out the concrete, and later on we would put circles there and make it real nice. But I had my managers to stay over that night and make sure nobody came by and did any mischief to the concrete while it was sitting there still fresh. So I went over to check these boys, and they had a campfire going. This was on the old campus, you know, they had a campfire going. They were really having a big time. And one of my managers said, "Hey, Coach Rickman, give me a chew of your tobacco." And I gave him a sack. I don't know what kind it was, some leaf tobacco, and he took some, and I just left them. You know, they were doing all right, and their rides were coming. I wanted to make sure that they were okay. And a week or so later, his mother told me the story that he got so sick on that tobacco that he never would chew tobacco again. That he stayed. I'm ashamed to say this almost, but it taught the boy a good lesson not to do tobacco anymore. And we laugh about it when I see that young man today and his mother. We laugh about it. People here would know his name, but I didn't ask him about telling that story, so I choose to leave that out.
That is a good one. I think we've talked in here before, John, that I came to Tullahoma in 1979, which had been a little after you came here to teach. But anyway, I worked at the Builder Supply for 26 years, and Mr. Sanders' father-in-law was managing it, and he had a tobacco use story similar to that, in that he had a slight heart attack at some point, and he was really checked his diet real close, and made Miss Sanders believe that he was off of tobacco. And a salesman came in with something, a twist, which boys from Chapel Hill know more about it than I do, but it was really strong chewing tobacco, and he got a wad of that while that salesman was there. Well, Miss Sanders came by, and when he realized that she was on the sidewalk or something, he ended up swallowing it. And he said he never worked a day that he was sicker at the Builder Supply than that day. But that probably pretty well cured him.
I've got one thing, one little story. We would chew tobacco when I was in high school in the shop class. And kids, don't ever do this. I mean, this is way back when tobacco was more not as taboo. The Surgeon General hadn't made any reports about tobacco being harmful. But I remember one time having to swallow my tobacco because the principal asked me a question and I had that in my mouth and I couldn't answer it without having swallowed that, and I wouldn't let him know about it. So, but somehow I didn't get sick. It was a terrible experience, but it was sort of it's something that we do as kids we shouldn't have.
Well, there's a good segue, John. Terrible experiences, and just talked about the Builder's Supply. Mr. Harry Brooks just passed away, and I saw where his...
Good fella.
He was a great fella, and I saw where his daughter-in-law, I believe, posted on the funeral home website that he fought cancer for 17 years bravely, and so I would have known him, of course, when he first diagnosed, but I never knew he had it. He was, he was just such a good guy and tough guy, and he came by Builder's Supply a lot, and this would have been probably in the 80s, early 80s, if not anywhere past say mid 80s, but anyway, at that time the office had a flat roof and had a lot of leaks in it, and before we put a pitched roof on it, to extend the life of that roof, the area above some windows at the top where the casings were had pretty bad leaks. And so when we had a bad forecast, we were selling gallon plastic buckets on the floor, and we just had nails put in up in that casing up almost to the ceiling and hung the buckets to collect the water, keep it off the stock that we were selling. Well, Friday came and had a bad forecast, so we put the buckets up. I had a bad storm. Sunday morning, no sun was out, and a great day for business, and the people were pouring in. And Harry came in real early and looked inside and asked Larry Broderick, who was sitting directly in front of him, if he had a plastic bucket. And so Larry looked on the floor where they're supposed to have been, and he said, "No, Harry, there's none here." Well, our good friend Larry Burt was a shipping clerk, and he was in the back and heard that proclamation that we didn't have any buckets, and he saw them. He'd hung them up on Friday. So he said, no, we've got plenty right up here. And he never took his eye off those buckets. He was the hero coming to the rescue, and he comes around from the side and goes in front of the sales desk in front of where Larry was. And to reach up to get the bucket, he had to have a chair. So he took one of those old ladder back chairs and pulled that chair, never looked anywhere except at the bucket, pulled the chair and started up. Well, when he pulled the chair, Harry was sitting down. And now Harry's in the floor. And Mr. Larry Burt had no idea that Harry Brooks was on the floor. And he got the bucket and was a little bit clumsy coming down, and the bucket was about half full of rainwater, and he poured that whole bucket of water on Mr. Brooks on the floor. So Mr. Sanders was there, and he was watched the whole thing, and his eyes got bigger and bigger and bigger, and his whole countenance said, "The Builders was started in 1916. We made it all the way here to 84 or whatever it was. This may be our last day at the Builder's Supply." And Harry got off the floor and he said, "Mr. Sanders, don't worry about anything." He said, "There's no hard feelings." He said, "Normally a man have to buy a ticket to see something like that." And they are telling us, John, that our ticket's been punched.
Our ticket's been punched.
And the 12th edition of the Conversations John and Pat is over, but it's not the last one, we hope.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. Check out the 2019 fully loaded V6 Kia Sorento, up to $6,400 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party. But things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Welcome back. I'm so proud to have the animal shelter represented here today with Taylor and Jacob and Miss Rose. Miss Rose is how old, Taylor?
She's around 3 to 4 months.
And you've had her since yesterday?
Since yesterday, yes.
And I am just overwhelmed that it's not somebody who's going to just jump up and grab this dog. You don't think they lost it, did they? Or did you say
No,
it was just turned in?
It was turned in. I think they had to move.
Well, I have to say it's better to turn an animal in than it is to go drop them off on the side of the road. And look at her. She's beautiful. What kind of dog is this? Is it
A Chiweenie.
Chiweenie?
Yeah.
Okay,
Chihuahua
with a wiener dog?
Yeah.
Well, she's precious. Do you have any idea how big she'll get?
Not much bigger.
Not much bigger.
I'd say she'll be under 20 pounds.
And she's all trained.
She seems to be.
And she's got lots of energy. And since she's not going to be a huge dog, she'll be a good pet for an old person as well as people with children. I think she'll be a great family dog. So if you want to adopt this dog, you want to tell them where the animal shelter is located in case they don't know. We're in Tullahoma, Tennessee, by the way.
It's 942 Maplewood Avenue.
942 Maplewood Avenue. Not just almost maybe a half a mile from downtown?
Yeah, not even.
Not much more. And if you're interested, either call the shelter, there's the phone number, and go over and pick her up. She's precious. She needs a good home. And she's obviously a good dog. All right, we need to talk about it's summer and how to take care of a dog.
Yes,
or a cat or
it's going to be 80
animal.
degrees today.
80?
And with that being said, we're getting a lot of people that are wanting to take their dog to Kroger and leave them in the car when they're in there.
Wrong.
After 10 minutes at 80 degrees, it's 99 degrees inside the car. After 30 minutes, it's 115 degrees.
And people have got to understand that, and I believe if the police come along, they'll knock the window out, won't they?
They can.
They can. They have the right to do that.
And they can't be charged with it either.
You should just not leave an animal, a child, a rattlesnake even, in your car because it's going to, maybe not a
It's like an
rattlesnake.
oven.
Yeah, it's like an oven. It's very sad what people do.
Just leave it at home. I mean, a lot of people say, well, I was just in there 10 minutes. Well, the way they set up grocery stores, you can't get in and out in 10 minutes.
No, you can't get in and out in 10 minutes. And even 10 minutes,
the
heat can get way up. The heat can get way up, and then the dog passes out, and you've lost your dog. So that's, and also I think you need to make sure you're leaving fresh water out if the dog is outside or inside.
Definitely.
The water needs to be changed.
And they need it shelter from the sun. They need to really get into a doghouse if they're outside.
So you should not leave an animal outside, and I hope it's against the law to put them on a chain.
It is.
And I've seen that done, and I don't, maybe for a short time I could understand it, but anybody that just leaves an animal outside chained. Rose, I am loving your face. What a good dog.
She just wants everybody's love.
Yeah. How many dogs y'all have at the shelter now?
About 20.
About 20?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of down, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. But they all need homes. Can you describe some of them? You have big ones, small ones.
Mostly medium to larger dogs. The small dogs don't last very long.
People enjoy getting a small dog because but the big dogs need homes too.
They do.
And it's really important, I think, that we take care of our animals. I know y'all are in the new shelter and you got more space now, right?
Yeah, we do.
Has that helped a lot?
Space.
It is, and we could always use old towels.
Yeah, people, sometimes your towels get worn out, so go buy some new stuff. When things get on sale, buy yourself some new towels and take everything else down to the shelter, because I know you need lots of towels.
We do. We have a dog wash station now, so we can actually
you can actually wash the animals. Well, do you need things like comforters and blankets?
Not as much now, because the new building has such good AC and heat.
Okay.
They're pretty good.
But
Mostly
you're always needing
towels, cleaning
and stuff.
supplies, stuff like that.
Cleaning supplies, food.
Food,
Does it matter what
definitely.
kind of food? I mean,
No.
y'all will take whatever you get, but I wondered
Yeah.
if there was a brand. Maybe you can't go there because then we'd be advertising one against the other. But so donate food, and I think you could go buy an offer to walk dogs. Can't you do that?
Mm-hmm.
People forget that animals there's a lot for 2 or 3 people to do, and if you just want to go by, and I guess they'll check you out and make sure you won't steal the dog, but at least if you stole it, if they steal it, it'll have another home.
Right.
So, true. Anyway, so Taylor, do you love working there?
I do. It's actually my very first job I've ever had. I've been there a little over 2 years, and it's the best.
It's
I
fulfilling,
absolutely love
isn't it?
It is.
And you have a house full of dogs.
Yeah, always. I love my dogs.
I know, and I think it's so important that people that do the work love the work, because then you give the best care possible. Is there anything coming up that we need to talk about?
Not in the near future.
No bark in the park, or
That's later
drool
on
in the
year.
pool,
Yeah.
or any of those things. Y'all still do that?
No, that when they got the new pool, they
can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, poor babies, and they need some pool water. Well, listen, we're about out of time. Remember, the number is on the screen. Tullahoma Animal Shelter is always looking for people to come and help take care of the dogs. And Miss Rose is ready to go. She's had her shots, and we'll be back.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Maiden. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com.
to find our handcrafted designs for
The Cock of the Walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
We're going to take you to a clip we have of the Tullahoma High School president of the senior class, I'm assuming, and he will be speaking at graduation.
Good evening. I want to welcome teachers, staff, parents, families, friends, and guests to tonight's graduation ceremony. The class of 2019 has worked toward this moment for the past 13 years, and we thank all school faculty and staff members throughout Tullahoma, as well as countless other cities, for their contributions to our educational experiences. We also offer special thanks to those who have supported us financially, athletically, personally, and emotionally. We appreciate you being here. My name is Ruth Ann Terry, and it has been my honor and pleasure to serve as the senior class president. Class of 2019, you are incredible. Thank you for these past 13 years. Now, when I'm not being a student, I am a lifeguard at D.W. Wilson Community Center. In a lifeguard training course, first aid training is constant. It is one of the most important skills we learn in order to become a lifeguard. Almost every interaction between a lifeguard and a pool patron requires some type of first aid. And if first aid is critical to rescues involving physical trauma, is it not equally important that we be prepared as citizens to provide aid in emotional traumas? A TED Talk I watched recently was titled, "Why We All Need to Practice Emotional First Aid." I was completely fascinated with that idea. We've all experienced myriad roller coaster emotions: fear, grief, acceptance, rejection, sadness, joy. We've all been pressed to explain our plans for after graduation, the answer usually being, "I don't know yet," and man, does that stress us out. Now, I'm a planner, so being uncertain about my future scares me. There are so many stress-inducing decisions to make right now, and so many that loom in the shrouded landscape of the coming years. We must be proactive, take care of ourselves, and devote some time to mindfulness. Emotional trauma and constant stress are inevitable. We can all benefit from taking deep breaths and developing self-awareness. What's going on in our heads, in our hearts? Unfortunately, anxiety and depression are two common mental health disorders in the United States among young adults, and they are often brushed aside. Take the time after emotional trauma to make certain you are indeed okay. First, let's change our reactions to failure, because that's probably, who are we kidding? It is definitely going to happen. The normal reaction is one of disappointment, and we often tear ourselves down, chastising ourselves for not being good enough. Instead, we need to remember our strengths, learn from that failure, and not allow it to brand us. We must remember to show ourselves compassion. We demonstrate it to others. Are we not also worthy of self-love, of forgiveness? Above all, we need to remember that challenges are not best faced alone. Whether it's family, new friends, old friends, or, if needed, professionals, it is best to share with others. This often brings the harsh, yet oddly comforting truth that we are not the center of the universe. Their experiences put ours into proper perspective. But for now, for tonight, let's focus on happy thoughts. We're off on a new journey, and though it may be scary, it's our time. We're searching for our place in this world, and while some of us may not see each other for, well, years, maybe longer, we share a common bond. We are Wildcats. We are the class of 2019. Congratulations to each and every one of us.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department needs you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, Peggy, we're back, and we've had a pretty interesting show today. I love that little dog.
Oh, I hope somebody gets that precious dog.
That little dog is the cutest thing I've seen. I don't know when. And
you need a
we're
dog.
No, we're not in dog business. We're out of the dog business.
I know.
But if we were in the dog business, that would be a good one.
If I didn't have a lame knee, I would take that dog home with me.
That'd be a good snake dog. Get snakes out of your poo.
Yeah, maybe. He's too little.
Yeah, Snake Lab will get him.
Up,
Hey,
yeah.
we want to remind all of you that this is Arts Alive on the South Jackson Civic Center property.
I think we're going to have nice weather
This weekend.
it's
Supposed to be beautiful, sunny,
There's
but
lots
it's
of
going to be
vendors.
90+ degrees.
I know. So wear your hat, and
A
there'll
lot
be
of water. Hydrate yourself.
I'm sure there'll be lots of liquids for sale.
Lots of liquids for sale. No telling what
Come
kind.
stay all day and go to see
A1A, the Buffett Band.
Buffett Band.
And we know there'll be libations and beverages at that, because it wouldn't be a Jimmy Buffett concert without a good old cold beer. That's right.
I think it'll be fun.
It's going to be a great time.
Wear your parrot outfits. Wear your
be a
wear your
parrot.
Hawaiian shirts. Come dressed to just enjoy.
You know, folks, there's so much goes on in this town, and we're very fortunate to live in a little town like we do that promotes so many good things. And don't sit around and say there's nothing to do. Get out of your house, get off your couch, put your iPad down, get in your car and go find something, because it's everywhere.
To do.
It is
It's
everywhere.
It's not like it was years ago.
No.
When there was only one game in town.
That's
now,
right.
Something going on everywhere.
What we're going to do right now is end the show with the Tullahoma High School Aristocats and a few words from the valedictorian. We'll see you next time.
Families, friends, faculty, and the class of 2019, thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Lillian Charbonneau, and I am the valedictorian of the class of 2019. It was roughly a year ago when I started my first job at the local movie theater. When I first started, I strived to do everything perfectly to a T and be as happy as I could to everyone that walked through the door. This worked pretty well for my first few months of my start there, until one day I received an R-rated and long lecture from a woman regarding the price of her popcorn. I went home that night so upset, thinking that I had failed by not satisfying every customer that came through my line, not even thinking about the hundreds of other great people and happy faces that came through my line that night. What I quickly learned through that experience and through my first job is that we all encounter many people along the way who will attempt to tear us down and break our spirit in some way. As minute as it seems, I discovered this by getting multiple comments and scoffs at the price of concessions. What I couldn't realize that night is that it's truly up to us to decide how we allow others to make us feel, and whether or not we allow them to shape us into a person we are not. As Steve Jobs once stated, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." Don't let the noise of others' opinion drown out your own inner voice. Through school and work and outside experiences, I have learned that harvesting and nurturing my inner voice is how I have most effectively and successfully grown as a person. And most important, having the courage to follow your heart and intuition has guided me the most. Somehow, I've learned that they already know what you truly want to become. Create your own definition of success, and don't let the thinking of others determine your own path, or even your own way of thinking. So, for the many of us still trying to figure out what to do, myself included, just give it time, and you'll find your dream, or maybe eventually, it'll find you. And when you find that dream, you got to get after it. You got to protect it and dare to be idealistic and drown out the outside voices trying to put in an opinion on your individual dream. There is always a need for more idealistic thinkers in the world as we conquer new challenges. In life, we also need to remember that what we are about is being in the moment and making the moments count. And we make the moments count by enjoying one another's company, by sharing our stories, laughs, goals, aspirations, and memories with one another. In the end, life is about the big and the small things, the A's on the test, the car ride conversations with parents that turn into lectures, the football games in the student section on Friday nights, the highs we say to our friends in the hallway, the college acceptances and rejections, and the songs we sing with our friends driving down back roads. They're all important, no matter how small they seem. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that what we view as the smaller things are the more important things. Not to say that the bigger things like the classes, quizzes, tests we stress over, and essays we wait until the last minute to write haven't served their purpose. They definitely have, and we've absorbed an immense amount of knowledge during our 4 years here. But never forget to live in the moment and appreciate the smaller things in life just as much as the bigger things. The world is now our hallway. Various office buildings, hospitals, campuses, and battlefields will now be our classrooms. As we move into these new classrooms, my hope is that when we meet on later down the road of life, we will have amazing stories to share with one another. My hope is that we live with no regrets, appreciating the success as well as the failures that come with that. My hope is that we, the members of the Tullahoma class of 2019, become people not defined by others' definition of success and expectations, but rather our very own.